This was the sight in Lahore. The Afghanistan players might very well have been playing in the rain, but look at the amount of water. It ensured that the Lahore washout was perhaps the final nail in Afghanistan's Champions Trophy 2025 campaign. And it was very, very disappointing because most of us had picked Afghanistan to go to the semi-final and they were worthy contenders in that sense. But in retrospect, that one huge loss that they had against South Africa proved to be a disaster for them. Now, after the Lahore washout, what is the current situation that is there? Australia have become the third team to qualify. So, India, New Zealand in Group A. In Group B, it is Australia. But there is no queue attached to South Africa yet. And why is that? Because tomorrow, England take on South Africa, and the results of that game, Afghanistan will be monitoring very, very closely. Now, what does Afghanistan need to pray, which will ensure Qudrat ka Nizam takes a different perspective altogether? Because while batting first and while chasing, England need to do this for Afghanistan. What is the scenario for Afghanistan if they have to still mathematically qualify for the semi-final? Here is the equation. If England bat first and they score 301, assuming in Karachi that England score 301, then England must beat South Africa by a record margin of 207 runs. If England beats South Africa by 207 runs in Karachi, then Afghanistan will sneak through. However, if England bats second, then they have to chase whatever target, and again in this case in excess of 300. So assuming it is a target of 301, England will have to chase the total down in 11.1 overs. So batting second, if South Africa win the toss and they decide to bat, then the game is up for Afghanistan. No way is any team chasing 301 in 11 overs. This is the target that is there if you have a total of 301 to chase. So remember the number 301. If England bat first and they make 301, they have to beat South Africa by 207 runs. If England bats second, they have to chase the total down in 11.1 overs. The second scenario is next to impossible. You can't do that in an ODI at this point. The first scenario is rather tangible, but it is still very, very difficult. So Afghanistan, you can safely say at this point in time that their CT campaign is all but dusted. But if England can register a 200+ run win against South Africa, and considering when there is a little bit of a scenarios pressure on them, you've seen how they have crumbled. Look at 2022. They just had to beat the Netherlands to qualify, but then no, they decided to lose, hand India and Pakistan the red carpet for the knockouts. Then when you look at the other way, all the other instances of South Africa's choke, we are not ruling it out, but in this case, it is too difficult. Remember, India, irrespective of what has happened in against New Zealand, if they lose it, they will not be classified as A2. They will still be classified as A1. So if South Africa win, they will then be B1, Australia will be B2, and India will take on Australia in Dubai on 4th. If India lose and South Africa lose, but not by a big margin, then India will still be A1. They will then take on South Africa, who's B2. So this is the scenario. India's standing and classification in the group doesn't change. It will be A1. They will play the Dubai semi-final because they will not be going to Pakistan. So India will be A1. If South Africa lose, they will be B2. But if they win, Australia will be B2. So in all likelihood, it is an India versus Australia semi-final, which could happen on March 4th. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.